Okay, let's get started. So, I heard great things about this game. And it was finally on sale. Apparently, games from Bazil sale? Oh, that's pretty cool. So, it's just 12 bucks. Let's see how I like it. Ooh. You know what? Absolutely love it. I was a little bit nervous about lots of the timing mechanics, because that makes me nervous. Okay, this looks good. Already a great presentation. I've collected the plasma syringe. Press R1 to heal yourself. Nice. Okay, so get some kind of pointing, some kind of target mechanic. I know it's a metroidvania. That's about all I know. So let's see what the buttons do. Not a lot yet, it seems. Okay, X lets you jump. I can go zoomy with square. So what is this place? And who are we? Well, it's a tutorial place, first of all. And I feel like we're gonna find these at some point. Okay. These things seem to be blocking our way. And I'm guessing they're gonna be stuff that we need to punch. Again, blocking our way, leading us a specific way. I like it. Very clearly these early stages of a metroidvania. Or I guess it's lead up to teaching you what a metroidvania is in its like basic form. I got a sword. Nice. Equip, giving us an edge in a fight. Tush. Okay. I see. Got ingots. Not sure I like crafting mechanics, if I'm honest. Okay. But then again, don't need to be judgy yet. And we got an enemy. Yeah, didn't I say it? Okay, we can get all punchy. Enemies drop stuff, as they should. Get things here and there. And again, lots of things. Which I already said, but anyway. There's a way down, but I also can go this way. much expected that one to be there. Which, to be fair, that's a very clear signaling. As far as signaling goes. I do wonder what is more stuff here. You got some kind of combo mechanic. And I took some damage. I was trying to punch. Well, not punch, but... Slit? Metal scrap? Is there anything here? Anything else? Because that's why I gain a gun back here. Once more. Oh. No respawning stuff. That's... interesting. Might be later. Doctor's room. I am very intrigued. Memories from a forgotten time come rushing back to you. Oh. Is that us or someone looking like us? Okay. Then what happened there? Doesn't look like it's supposed to end this way. Hey there, Erika! Yeah, I do like a good pun. Today was such a great day. Krill and Alma are finally getting along nicely, and my god, my throat is kind of blah. Did we? I mean, we had some closest honors. But I guess in the cutscene we didn't. Oh my god, my throat. Finally getting along nice, and they're helping rebuild the city from the... All that the elder... Again, good puns. Good puns. I hope we can teach her more than strategies and fighting. There's so much more she's capable of. Is that us? Are we Elma? By the way, the new elevator password is 1995. Okay, so that's the thing we needed. Or that's the thing that we will need, I'm assuming. Okay, 1995. You can use the air ducts to get out of the lab, huh? Whoosh. Dang, these puns, they keep coming in. Love them. And... well, of course something was supposed to happen. See, I love puns, and I love when they're annoying. So keep doing it. Unidentified biome is detected inside the perimeter of the lab. All personnel evacuate to the elevator immediately. Well... fuck! Okay, right, I guess I gotta... wing it! Uh-oh, that was not a way to go. Oops, okay. That was greedy. I see. So we lost some stuff that I didn't even know we had. Well, I guess we gotta get the fuck out of here. Those masturbation jokes. Okay, that was not the right way. This is already exciting. Okay, God. Wait, what? Okay. Well, that was a close one. Yes, yes. The... Yeah, one arm thing. Okay, anyway. Who's that? Hey there. The bill? Oh yeah. This is a pretty good game. That is on sale right now. So yeah, this is a cool game by two trans women from Brazil, and since it was finally on sale, there's just 12 bucks. I got it. And who's that? Help me. Sure, we can help you. We are also very much in pain. Not anymore. That monster got the best of me and I ended up stuck on this pile of debris. Wait a second. You're not unsighted, huh? I see. Title drop. Who are we, indeed? Raquel? Raquel? Is this your name? No. I think that's who I'm looking for. Raquel. The name does sound familiar to me. Why don't you come with me? I'm going to the crater tower. I'm supposed to meet Vana there. Hehehe. Vana is super smart and strong. There's nothing she can't do. I'm sure she'll be able to help you, and she probably knows who this Raquel person is. I guess. And also getting there by myself would be hard. This place is crawling with Unsighted. I'll mark the location of the crater tower on your map. Okay, so we have a title drop, but not necessarily an explanation of what is a title drop. No, I know what a title drop is. Of what Unsighted is. Anyway, let's go. Let's go indeed. Let's see. Can punch that one. So we have some kind of death mechanic where we lose whatever some of these things are. I see. There's things together. There was some earlier. There was some earlier. I don't know how to get up there. That seems like a place you get from somewhere else. Might also be something where you need an upgrade. Since this is a metroidvania. Sewers. I guess it isn't. So, are enemies respawning or not? Doesn't seem to be the case. Metal scrap. The worst version of Metal Gear. Wait, where do I have to go? Wait, what? Okay, now I'm confused. You don't want me to go through the sewers? What else is there? In terms of paths? Well, what other ways there? So there should be a way there. Maybe a way there. Definitely not traversable here, but that might be something later. Yeah. Also a good wordplay. No, we can't go that way. Oh, so we came from that way. Wait, where are we supposed to go? Confused. Well. Is there just something here? Huh. Oh, wait. Oh! I see. That was traversable. Didn't realize that. I mean, not sure what resources are in these things. Honestly, I think that's just standard procedure. I think there's a timing mechanic normally in this game, but I turned it off because... I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know what sighted on means. The only thing I know is that I'm not quite sure how to get up there. She says and immediately gets up there. You know what? That could be a good tip. I got this cool plugin, Info Writer, so I can just press a button and it gives me a timestamp. Probably not gonna make most of the timestamps into clips, but it's a good thing. Okay, yeah, I can see it. I can sight it? No, that's not good. Ooh. Lips. Chips. No, I don't. Strength chip. Nice. That sounds good. Could go for some chips, but Tish. Okay. And then I can pay to get new slots. but the same amount of slots. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Equip as many chips as you can. Yep, that seems pretty straightforward. And we got a chest and another chip. I'll take it. Stamina is always good. Bump. I see. So for that we needed the resources, huh? Do any of these drop whatever resource that is? Also, I do believe that just being able to... There's a parrying mechanic, and I got it in one. Then got hit anyway. But good to know still. Nothing here. So I'm assuming... Okay. Ah, dang it. Always with these perfect counters immediately followed by being hit. I do not appreciate that. Ooh, I see. Where would that supposed to go? Ooh, I see. And I'm assuming these stretch marks on the floor give you an indication of what you're supposed to do. I like it. Very good, very good. Woohoo! Okay, it's kind of fun to do that. Countering stuff with circle button. That's pretty good. That's pretty cool. Well, guess what? That wasn't it. So clearly there's something we can do here, but we might not be able to do it yet. Maybe at some later stage? Because there's a chest. Oh, I see. What is this thing? What can I do with it? Let's have a look. Okay, that's not it. Well, I guess there are ways to make it so you can't screw it up here. Can't push it past there. I mean, this is obviously another puzzle. Okay, I'm assuming that we find something down the line that gets us whatever that needs. So let's go. Try hitting the thing. Oh, that's a good idea. That could indeed be the solution. Let's try that. Oh, yep, that's the solution. Thank you. Good to know. Move you up close? Yeah. Well. Yeah, no, that's what I'm doing. Very good. Whee! And I got a spin attack chip. Increases spin attack damage by 50%. Nice. I assume that's this one? Or is that another one? Very good. Thank you for that tip. No, I have no idea what a spin attack is. Okay, so that's just opening now. Ooh, we can deflect stuff. And obviously for that we need to hit things. But we can deflect stuff. And we're also in not good condition here. Ooh, what is this? Finally, I'm able to ponder my orb. Oh, good chest. And we got a key. A key. Map. Ah, there was a locked door. Was there something else we missed? Oh, it's worth checking out. Could really use a little bit of health. About time. Okay, we got some health back. Very interesting. Okay. So we got some things. Okay, I see the first thing we need to do, which is to bring one of these over. Now, do we need to drop them here? Which then we would not be able to climb back up. Though I do think we need to put them on these pedestals. Pedestrians. Yep, that should be it. Yeah, no puzzle. I like it. Kind of precise, huh? Now that's what I'm talking about. Okay. Right. Gotta put it back up. That's important. Okay. Well, almost. You gotta actually, you know... get there. And another chip. Ooh. I like vampire things. I mean, obviously. Something that's particularly secret. Let's see. Where is the place we need to go? Should be somewhere here. Yeah, there it is. Okay, very good, very good. Now... Ooh, that's health bonus. I like it. Now we get the explanation of how this kind of stuff works. Well... that certainly wasn't it. But this works too. Oh yeah! Get parried, baby. Blaster? Blaster? I hardly know her. Okay. I see. That sure opens something up. Okay, I see. So now we got the aiming mechanics. I see. Well, obviously we can do that. Very good. Okay, so that's mostly teaching us that mechanic, I'm assuming. Is there something over there? Could be. But I do not know how to activate that. Oh, wait, never mind. Way easier than I thought. So that does very much seem like a lot of stuff. Oh yeah. I like the gameplay, it's fun. So we're back here. Was there another thing? I think there was. There sure is. Oh yeah. I wonder where else these things were. Oh, orb time. So that leads us back here. It doesn't seem to be anything that way. Nope, also not that way. Also, we got a great view of how destroyed everything is. Can we shoot that? No, we can't. But I see what we can do. Which is, we can go there. Okay, more stuff. I like things. Right, and that's where we were supposed to go. Oh. I see. Well, that's interesting. That's very interesting use of stuff. Oh, there's also like like a perfect reload mechanic or something like that. I'm not actually good at parrying. Which I do believe is how you're supposed to fight these assholes. And I'm very low on health. Ooh, I got an auto blast blueprint. You know what? It might be very useful to get back and get those upgrades while we still have resources to spend. Where was the place we need to? There is the terminal. Actually, it might be faster to go this way. But there could also be enemies. So it's a gamble. But I guess I'm gonna take it. Yeah. It's almost the terminal. Should be over there. Wait. Oh, right. This led us way back to where we were once. Okay. Yeah, I do. Oh, nice. We can also recharge. I didn't actually realize that. I like it again. I can put some more things on there. So I could take away the health and maybe get the vampire thing. But I think I'm just gonna go simple and get that stamina ship. Now I see. I see. Now that we have the blaster, now that we have the blaster, we can get through here. Also, we might be able to farm things after we then do the refresh thing. We have full on health, so I don't think it's necessary to punch these things. Let's see. Oh, we reached Crater Tower, very good. It Vala's around here somewhere. Ooh, this game is good. I like it. Its presentation, everything. Its color scheme. And was that a memory? And that's us. The energy that gives all automatons consciousness. So this you're all able to think, feel and exist. Are we a robot? A robot. Humans want to use it, huh? Well, that sucks. That's why I created you. We have to stop them for the sake of all the automatons. Okay, so what happens? I wonder. Now, who is Raquel? This hot woman? I'm so afraid, Raquel. So that's us, I guess? Oh, that's Raquel. Well, I mean, the last dialogue box was Raquel. Oh, I love this game. It's good. I think I remembered my name. It's Alma. Now it's about time. Nice to meet you, Alma. Get you checked by a mechanic. We've got to get you checked by a mechanic. Let's find Vanna and go home. Okay. And boss fight. Oh, we got this thing. And I completely forgot how to use the damn mechanics. Okay, so... What do you mean there are two of them? I am not yet good at playing this game, I guess. Certainly not good at dodging yet. Oh, that was supposed to go that way. Which makes sense, because we weren't doing any damage. Oh, we did get rescued. She looks so cool. She looks cool too. There's so many cool, hot robot ladies. You know what? Cool, hot robot ladies is definitely worth the highlight. Can't believe we managed to fix you up. Don't think you remember me, right? I'm sorry. Don't worry, dear. Welcome back to Gear Village. It's not as lively as it used to be, but we're trying to survive around here. Since you and the doctor disappeared, the humans took over control of the meteor. And it's been a mess. Those rogue automatons you probably saw in downtown, they are the Unsighted. Title drop. If we don't act quickly, we will all go unsighted too. Well, I'm sorry. I don't want to overwhelm you. It's fine. Oh, and also, you were muttering her name in your sleep. Raquel. You remember her, don't you? Yeah, but I can't remember much else. I just feel that I have to be with her. You will, dear. Why don't you get downstairs? Vana wanted to talk to you. She might not show it, but she really misses you. Okay. So what is did? Ooh, crafting, huh? Use a blueprint. Interesting. So that's one thing, I guess. Okay. I see. I wonder if we can just kinda make our own stuff. But I wouldn't know anything about that. Oh yeah, I'd like that. More bullets. More bullets is good. Was that damage? Sure, let's upgrade this thing. Good. Which it's kind of weird since I think I wanna try out this auto blaster. That could be interesting. So let's try that one. So that leads us downstairs. Are we kind of a different version of armor? That wouldn't surprise me. The anima. It gave all automatons consciousness. Okay, where did the humans flee? I see. So I don't know, were they just being dipshits? Look at these two being super gay. Five shots per meter to study them, I see. And we gotta gather them, obviously. That's to be expected. And then the humans attacked. We were overwhelmed in battle. That was when I last saw you and Raquel. Then suddenly that thing appeared in the sky and sealed away the meteor. These piece of shits. The crater tower in place, the humans cowardly started stripping us of our consciousness. These dipshits. Our anima started running out, and those who lost it completely first they went missing. Or Unsighted, as we called them. But when they came back for us, we saw what happened. They became rogue automatons that have no consciousness and only crave for anima. At least they're not craving for anime. But tush. However, not all automatons went unsighted, not yet. Me, Olga, and others are trying to do something about it. We still have plenty of anima left in our bodies. Try to get inside the crater tower, but it's guarded by these creatures. Olga thinks the humans are using the anima to create them, and the only way to defeat them would be using the energy of the meteor anima itself. Yeah, we definitely didn't even scratch them. And that's what we're trying to do. These 5 meteor shots the doctor was studying, they are still around. I do hope the doctor is not gonna be betraying us or something. I am already invested, so that's good. With that power, we can create a weapon capable of destroying those creatures and entering the crater tower. The only problem now is getting past the automatons Doctor entrusted the shards to. Asana, the ancient deity, hid inside the garden caves to protect their shard. Luna, the light manipulator, she has been keeping us away from the museum with her illusions. Maria, the lady of forest, she secured one of the shards inside the frozen aquarium. From Beethoven, right after wind. Doctor trusted them a lot. Last time we saw them, they were at the highways. And finally, Project Nova. A group of Doctor students took a shot to create a powerful automaton in the factory. They never confirmed if it was a success. Okay, we can't confirm it, but there's a possibility that they have all gone unsighted by this point. So we can't just go and ask them to give us the shots. Yeah, you got it. Also, outside of here, the city is infested with Unsighted. It's very dangerous. Trying to protect everyone here in the village, but I might not last much longer. Then you showed up, Alma. You were created by the Doctor to be the perfect automaton to fight the humans, even surpassing Raquel. That's why we think you are our last hope. You don't have to do this, but no, I won't give up. If this is too much for me to bear at the moment, no matter what it takes to save us, I'll do it. What the humans are doing, it's too cruel. And my gut tells me that I can't give up on Raquel just yet. Even if my memories are way too blurry right now, I feel like I have to find her. I bet she's in there, in the crater tower. Alma, you've grown so much. I will collect these shards so we can fight on equal footing with them. Thank you. Don't worry, Vanna. I'll keep us safe. What? Do you plan on going too, Iris? Yeah, I'm glad for everything you did to me here in the village. But you know, there's something I'm looking for. Yeah, I know. Together with Alma, I'll be able to find them. Okay, I won't stop you. Just be careful, you two, okay? Once you find all of the meteor shards, Olga might be able to craft you a new weapon. One capable of entering the crater tower. I'll mark the location of the shards on your map, Alma. Interesting. Bam bam. Don't have to follow the order I've marked on your map, it's just a suggestion. Good luck out there. Okay. So now we got a time mechanic. We can also advise Natalia's distract signal. Interesting. Natalia's I don't know what exactly that would be. Oh, what's this? Oh. Oh. Well. Okay, Natalia, where is she? Finally. Kinda interesting that we got the info about Natalia before we, you know... Oh, 511 hours remaining to save Varna. So she really does not have long. Might have to go fast here. I probably want to talk to everyone. Oh, 291 hours remaining, huh? Oh, I can buy blueprints. A bunch of things, but not really something I can do right now. Hi there, Anna, Buzz. 191, huh? But first of all, what we're gonna do, I do hope it's paused, right? I mean, it should be, really. Yeah, it's paused. Anyway, you know what else is paused? I am paused. Anyway, gonna be back in a bit. Da, da. So... yeah, I accidentally turned these on. Quite frankly, I'm just not a fan of them. Yet. Maybe later. Or some other times. Okay, so... anyway, let's get out of here. And see what we can do. So that's the village. We got a bunch of people around. Lots of cool people here. There's someone in a bad mood. Ideally not. I mean, I guess technically I've turned it off. But I'm not quite sure if it is actually turned off. So you don't have long at all. But yes, you don't look like you remember me though. I own a pet shop. I take care of dogs and such. However, since the last battle of the humans, my dogs went missing. If you happen to find them, can you bring them to me? I'll see what I can do. I hope they're doing well. It's so dangerous out there. Be waiting for you in the pet shop, Alma. Okay. Cool person. I must say that there was another animal meteor that crashed on this planet. Why don't we go after that? We should have enough time. Interesting. Base animals. Animals. A cool person in a wheelchair, I like that. Lots of diverse people. I love this game. If you can't tell already. Yeah, the anime. She remembers anime. That's good. Interesting. Well, I'd need to upgrade stuff first. So there's a terminal here. But I'm not gonna take any of them. I guess I gotta get on with it. Makes me a little bit nervous if I'm honest. Training center. Various weapons. Carrying. Combat tips. Press at the right time to parry and stun enemies. Yep. I see. Perfect reload. I've seen that in other games. Ah, that's how you do a spin attack. Interesting. Cool mechanics. Master Cecilia. Yeah, I'd like to do that. Oh. Lol. Didn't realize I didn't have any weapons in hand. Yeah, let's parry. Let's do the parry training. So circle. Oh, very good. We can take as much time as we want. And that's the first one. Well, that wasn't it. Come on. Yeah. Get that timing right. And no. Okay, one more time. Come on. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Projectile attacks. Come on. Here we go. Whee! And come on. That was not the right timing. That was it. I see. Come on. Well, that's not easy to do. Again, it's not easy to do. Also not easy to see which ones are parryable. I don't think jump attacks are, but they might be. And honestly, I'm not very good at the game. Not good at all. But thankfully, this game has a lot of, you know, mechanic to make it easier. Nice. Oh, those are bolts. Let's maybe do that later. So... who's that? Ariel? Sister told me you were alive. I couldn't believe it. Sorry, who are you again? Oh girl, okay, let's start from the beginning. I'm Ariel. I make and sell weapons for the automatons. Sister Svana, you do remember her, right? Oh yes, okay, now I get it. Nice. My sister does not like my weapons, you know. She prefers to fight bare-fisted. But I know you. You're master of both swords and guns. I am? Well, you sure used to be. And I'm sure you'll be back in shape soon. So if you need weapons, you can find them here. Interesting. Can we afford some of that? Do you have a blaster, which we already have? Grenade launcher, a shotgun? Auto blaster, we made one of those. A war axe, I mean... Flame blade, that sounds cool! Okay. I guess we gotta get out there. There's probably more to be had. But let's get going. Not that way. Well, what way then? That way? So... somewhere here, I guess. Yeah, that sounds like it. That looks like it. Outbuildings. I am not good at timings. Never was. Let's see, where is the most likely... Yikes! Got hit quite heavy there. A lot of people already Unsighted here. So this is it, huh? Don't worry, Joanna. We'll be back soon enough. But does it have to be you? Vanna thinks she can control us. It's not fair. You don't have to do it just because she asked. Hey, it's not about her. I'm doing this because I want to. There are some of us out there that haven't gone inside it yet. They deserve a chance too, and I'm going to go help them. From all automatons left in the village, I'm probably one of the most qualified to do so. It's so scary around here without you. Don't worry, Joanna. I'm going to be okay. I love you. I love you too. That was nice. A little bittersweet kind of thing. Can we talk to her? Yeah, let's check on her, the industrial sector. Where is that? Well, I am assuming we're gonna... get there eventually. Okay. And I got killed. You can see I'm not very good at the game. Yikes, that's a lot we lost, huh? Ugh. Well, that's very annoying. We lose quite a lot, huh? Well, guess that's all it is. Let's... I guess at least get some stuff here. What I'm not a fan of, again, is the time limit. In my opinion, it's just not necessarily a good fit for this kind of game. It's just what I think. Is there anything up here? God, I'm not good at this game. Can I shoot that? No, I can't. Too bad. Anything else here? I do very much feel like this kind of... Like you kind of have to do exploration first and then anything else. Because otherwise you just... I don't know. You just get punished a lot. Ooh. Time to ponder the orb again. Is that even a current meme? Not, right? Did it even practically do anything? Well, I don't think so, huh? There might be things that we can do to get up there later. That seems reasonable to assume. Let's move on. I keep pressing the reload button instead of, you know... Oh my god, there are so many of them. I mean, they are not the hardest to deal with, if you understand to parry it quite correctly, but I'm not good at it. As you can damn see! Okay, so I'm very much not good at this game. Which I feel is just bad part of the timing thing. Especially part of the losing all your money thing. And this game is hard, let's be honest. I mean, I could always turn down the difficulty. And at some point I might do it. Not today, but... maybe someday. Okay, got some more things. At least... Okay, I think we don't have to... Oh, get stuff back. I guess I never gotten to that point that I would be able to get stuff back. This blaster is not easy to reload, huh? Like, look at this. I keep wanting to press L2 to parry, which is not how you do it. Okay, well at least this time I got it. Lots of things to unlock. Where does this go, I wonder? Which I don't think we can just immediately get anyway. Let's just leave that until we know where to put that. Okay, chest, I take it. Meteor dust. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay, you can sense where our meter dust is. If I understand that correctly, it shouldn't matter, which... Oh boy, again, I can't really read the profile. No idea how to deal with you properly. Okay. Okay, no, that's the way to deal with them. So parrying is quite necessary. I guess I'm gonna get the hang of it sometime. Well, I mean, gonna have to. Whee! Okay. And I do want to get that thing. I'm also bad at that other mechanic. Ah. Okay, no, fuck that shit. I'm gonna bother with it. While you are recovering, I've gathered some items that I think would be helpful to you. Check this out. Okay, I get the attack cog. Increases damage dealt by melee weapon by 33%. Defense protects the user from taking damage. Effect cogs. You get in the pause and I will grant you temporary buffs. Ooh. Interesting. Oh, we can teleport. That's gonna be very useful again. To save us some time. So we could go back and maybe get some blueprints. So we should be able to teleport to various things. But not all of them, apparently. Let's get back and maybe get some blueprint for some gears. We get lots of things. Huh. There's a chest up there. Right. Alma should have the stuff. What's up with this one? Portable crafting table. Okay. So if I give you some time, you might be able to do it. So I can also do that to unlock stuff. I'm sure. I'll maybe wait until I know whether there's enough of them. War axe print, sprocket print, iron ingot, grenade, defense cog, and stamina cog. Let's get one of these. And I could try making an axe, which would be fun. Let's craft some stuff. Nope. Sure. They don't seem too hard to make. Well, I don't have that much, unfortunately. Oh, let's get that war axe, sure. Let's try that out. Ooh, that looks nice. I doubt I can get anything else here. Ooh. I can also get out from here, huh? Oh, there's some Alma dust in there. I see, and it's nighttime now. Also, some that way, huh? The nighttime is also really cool looking. We should be fine to work since... Well... No, that's probably that chest. I do want to know how well this kind of stuff works. Oh, nice. Well, it works quite well, it seems. These things hit hard, but I seem to be hitting harder. But that's not where I want to go. Oh yeah, I like it. Oh, so there's stuff up there, huh? And I can't get there right now. let's see. This is where we're supposed to go. I hope we can save that person. That would be ideal, obviously. Okay, we can craft stuff. That's always good. Okay. So the place we are supposed to go. Ooh, I like it. Again. So there is some more things. Let's doing it there. Uh-oh. Yeah, we can't go that way. Which is a shame, because apparently there's stuff there. Oops. So that harms us. No, wait. I mean, it might, but that's not really what happened there. Okay. What is this? Delivery log. Can't give up just now. Oh. Ah. Oh. Well, let's see where we can find this stuff. Oh yeah, I like that weapon. It is fun. That's for sure. And uh-oh. Oh no, it's one of these. Oh wait, it isn't? Wait. I'm not quite sure what this is supposed to do. I mean, this is obviously a puzzle. But I don't get it at all. Is this the thing we need to do? Like, it seems to be that way. And okay, I mean, obviously I can make this if I time it right. That's just a ship. And that just gets us back. I cannot do that perfect reload like at all. Okay, that doesn't give us any infos, unfortunately. Let's see. Oh, I see. There's a hint there. So this, and then this. So this. So this one? No. Okay, I didn't hit the second one. Oh. And that's it. But I got a bad feeling here. High jump boots. Ooh. Yeah, that was called it. terrible at this. Like, absolutely atrocious. Well, at least I'm getting better. Well, a little bit. Not much, unfortunately. And I died once more. Okay, I guess. Yeah, I know. Well, at least that's closer. Not by much. There is a long way for that one, huh? I guess I should use some of these defense cards. Perfect opportunity for some kind of joke. Don't be surprised if next time I'm just gonna, you know, not gonna have the invincibility on. Cause oh boy, I'm not good at this game. It's fun, don't get me wrong. But I'm not very coordinated. Unfortunately. Do we have to do the thing again? I don't. Okay, first things first, get our money back. And then, well, I mean, at the very least this time around, I know what I'm doing. Well, I mean, I thought I knew what I was doing. Oh wait, it's all about parrying, huh? I'm not quite sure how to parry this one. Like... Also, I'm still very bad at coordination. Like, really bad. Do I think I can also parry while attacking? Woo! Okay, I somehow made it. Despite sucking at this game. Hmm. 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 She is falling for her. Well, for Alma. Hmm. Hmm. Very shy, huh? Okay. Well, that's good. Mm. Okay, so I do think I don't have to worry about these timers. It's really good that they implemented that, because, oh boy. I mean, that's just another form of accessibility, isn't it? Mm. 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 Okay. Cave entrance. Museum entrance. Okay, heal up. Okay, now I can jump up. Very good. I can probably get some stuff now. I can get up there. So that's a new place. Oh. Well, can we? Yeah, we can. Okay. I'm not welcome here. Leave me alone. So whoever that was, she does not want to be involved with anyone. I'd like to find some kind of terminal. Because then we can teleport. Ah, perfect. There's one right here. Let's recharge and then I want to buy things. That might be better than a chip. So let's get back here. Well, can we get up there now? Let's see what we can get up to now. Okay, we can't jump in there. Oh, how can we get up there? Because that obviously seems to be a thing we should be able to do. Okay, there's definitely something over there, but we can't get to that. It seems... So everyone's sleeping. Do we not need to sleep? Because otherwise it seems like you should be working all day, which seems bad. Anyway. Yeah, let's get a chip upgrade. Because that would be good. I don't use the spin attack ever. But that vampire thing might be good. Since it is nighttime right now, I do think I'm gonna go down here. But that seems like something we should not do yet. Oh. Since that has the number 4. So let's teleport here. There was also more stuff in the area before that we should be able to get to now. So let's focus on that, why don't we? For example, oh wait. Oh yeah. Okay, once you learn how to do it, carrying isn't that bad. She says and immediately gets killed. Wait. Ha. I mean, sure, but you do realize that I am not likely to do that right in a fight. Gotta preserve my stamina. Oh my god, I hate this. I hate this a lot. So, can we jump over any of these? No, we can't. So what else can we get here? Okay, I guess not much in this area. But we should be able to jump over there, maybe? I guess we can, which is weird in my opinion. Okay, I mean that wasn't the worst. I do believe there were some areas that I was able to get out now. I get to now. Oh, I really gotta parry this Bazil. And sometimes that's not that hard. Mostly, oh my god. Super duper hard. Still like that axe. Okay. I am really not good at parrying stuff. Okay. Well, that's something. Okay, get stuff. Get stuff. We get more things. But how much more things do we need? Oh, wait. Okay, we can get a shortcut. We can open this door. And since we can jump now, we can take a shortcut here. But we would have to put it somewhere? I'm not quite sure. Like, we obviously can't jump up there yet. Not like this. Like, it makes sense that we would want to jump up. Oh, wait. No. Like, I'm just guessing that we would want to have that thing on the other area. Or, oh, I got another idea. So we take this thing, we put it here, then we take this orb and bring it all the way over to the other side. And I think that's gonna do it. Let's try. Good. Make it. I get a meter dust. And now how to get to this one too. And we'll probably have that's no idea what that's gonna be, but it seems like it could be useful. Ah, and then we can jump here and get out there. Nice. Also, there was another thing. No, one of these things. Some here, yes. Let's see. I think the fastest way to get there is to just open one of these doors. No, wait, that wouldn't work. Well, I mean, it kind of would work. Okay, basically, kind of have to put this here. Then I grab the thing. Go around again. To get the stuff. I could have probably gotten this in one last step. But coulda, woulda, shoulda. Okay. Huh. Nice. Which I am not likely to use. I mean, I could, I guess. So that's one of the things here. Cave entrance, museum entrance. So the museum would be number 2. And the cave entrance would be number 1. Let's go for the caves, I guess. Let's speed this up a bit. That upgrade also wasn't useful since right now I am very much enjoying this axe. I am in fact an axe lesbian now. I mean, sometimes I do hit them. And but more often than not, I do not. And I guess that's one of the disadvantages of these heavy swords. Because then it's a lot harder to carry. Some of these attacks are harder to parry, but not impossible. I always want to attack parry, but that's very much not how you're supposed to do it. Oh my god. I am so bad at this game. Especially with these ninja boys. Could use some healing. Huh. So I guess that's a cave entrance. Let's go down there. Is this the museum? No, it's not the museum, right? That would be the other place, obviously. Yeah. They're guarding the meteor shot somewhere around here. Sana. They were worshipped by humans a long time ago. It is said that they were the most advanced AI of that time. I wonder what happened. Let's find them. Okay. Let's recharge. I prefer to use the stuff for this right now. Strength chip. I mean, that's good stuff. Let's use the... No, that doesn't make sense for me right now. I guess I can just stamina ship for now. Okay. And yeah. Good. I got a blueprint. Nice. Let's craft some of those. Come on. Here we go. You seem to have a lot of that stuff. So that's good for that. I assume we could also find blueprints if we had the recipes for it. But or rather, if we knew what to do, which I guess we could just look up. Oh, I see. What do we have here? First of all, I mean, I guess don't find that very exciting. Listen, you can't just punch them or axe them. I was just asking you. I was just asking. Okay, I'm totally whiffing that one. I wanted to say I was just asking you a question. Is this a pole gate? It seems like it is. Okay, that is obviously a puzzle. I mean, what else would it be? Okay. Anything else? Okay, I see. There's lots of puzzly things going on here. Could really use some more stamina, especially with the big one. Okay, I can see where what we need to do here. Not particularly complicated, I guess. Okay. I'm saying okay a lot. Okay. I mean, wait, why would that help me there? Like, why would... What? Wait, no. I see what I need to do. Because what I should be able to do is this. I can send the thing flying. And then... Then I press this. And I can get to that thing. things. I'm just gonna assume that I'm gonna have to do this again. Well, wait. Oopsie. I guess I didn't have to do that again. But maybe I do have to do that again. Let's go this way for now. Obviously there were things, very important things, the other way. Oh, there is stuff this way which I can actually get to. Nice. And well, I guess that's one way of doing it. Honestly, I am just button mashing here. I got a key! I know what that key is. I have seen that. Okay. That was the thing. Now I believe there should be something somewhere. I'm not quite sure where exactly. Nope, that was not what I meant to do. Well, I'm not quite sure that was... No, but that was what I wanted to do. But maybe it was... Okay, let's go back there, activate the thing. Because it might still be closer than the other one. Like, clearly there's something that way, but I'm not quite sure how to get there. Through there is some indication of a way here, which is most likely where we need to go. Okay. Here we go. Okay. I mean, that wasn't so bad. I can't get up there. I guess if I go that way, I get... Not like this. Like this. Okay, there should be something here. It couldn't go further that way. But first of all, there is a key. Oh, there's a door. We should be able to get through. Also, let's recharge. Which I think means enemies spawning in, but that doesn't matter if we go into a new area. Let's see. Yikes. Okay, I hate these enemies. Especially if there are two of them. Oh my god, they are annoying as fuck. Well, it's one way of doing them, I guess. So can't go that way yet, but that seems to be a way to go back. Well, got the healing. Got the healing again. Still a way to get there. No, not directly. Digging. Oh, you're still alive. Oh, still sighted. Well, very good. Very good. Oh, nice. Ooh, I got secrets. Let's see what that gives us, and then I'm gonna take a break. What do I wanna call it here? You know what? I think I'm gonna soon call it. Very interesting. Interesting. I should do that next time. Is there a good point to save? Oh, there are different loadouts I can do. Didn't even realize that. So can I just immediately quit without losing progress? Because it's not 100% clear. Okay, that was a fun game. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna play more of this. I'm more likely to switch it up for KSP. So I'm gonna say Thursday KSP. Maybe just some grinding in the game in between. Could do that. But anyway, I'm gonna be back on Thursday at same time as today, 6 PM GMT +1. Until then, see you next time.